Hello, hello, hello. Trying to make sure everything is working. Ugh. That was a real person noise, right? Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dragon Hoard Yarn podcast, or is it the Dragon Hoard Yarn Cast? It used to be that crafty dragon, but we're just gonna change everything up a little bit. I am Tristan. I'm coming to you from Spanish Fork, Utah, from my yarn studio, and I almost did not record this because I talked on the phone so much yesterday and started belting out Broadway songs on my way home, and now my throat is swollen. And so I sound a little funky, but I just wanted to get back on here. I miss you guys so much. I miss the yarn community. So I'm a knitter with a capital K. I almost said with a capital knit, with a capital K. And that means I am just constantly knitting, constantly trying to learn new skills, learn new ways to lazily do something that's a lot less complicated than it looks like. I am the dyer behind Dragon Hoard Yarn, which is on my fancy yarn behind me. This is primarily my fingering weight bases. Behind me in my Myth sock base, which is my 75-25. I am very strange and weird, and I will own it. And I hope you guys enjoy my little crafting corner of the universe. Let's see, a little bit about me. I am also on a YouTube channel called The Girls in the Yarn Cafe with my mom, Christy, who is the dyer behind Yarn Cafe Creations. But because what month is it? Is it June? It's June because my anniversary is tomorrow. My 10-year anniversary is actually tomorrow, and everything is shut down. So if you are watching this and find me later, this is during the COVID crisis right now. And so in Utah, we didn't really shut down. We were very much warned to stay away from people, and if you're going to be around people, to basically like wear a mask and try not to breathe or touch them, on them, all that jazz. We were down to the social distancing was, I think, gatherings no more than 10 for the entire thing where I'm at least. I know in some of the larger cities it was a little bit more drastic and they were quarantined. But thankfully the numbers in my area never got to that point. But either way, I did sign up. Sorry, I'm always cross-legged. I did sign up for permission to be a necessary or I hate the word, but a vital business. Just because I know yarn helps people in stressful situations, and with COVID going on, that was a damn stressful situation. So I did get letters so that I could continue working, but they didn't end up requiring those in my area, which was very nice. But I think we all miss people at this point. And I'm going to say every other word. I am so sorry. I'm not going to catch it until way later. But I think we all are just missing people, missing communicating. And there's only so much you can do on social media with that. And so I wanted to start my channel again. Total refresher. Before, I think I was very focused on perfectionism and trying to bring forth the non-sloppy, none of the unsightly things to my channel. And now I'm more just realizing that I don't have time for that kind of perfection. And I'm not going to let that weigh me down anymore. And so I am bringing back my channel to say hi again. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel for the very, very first time. You are welcome here. I love people, and I love communicating and making new friends, even if it is online, because the majority of my friends are online at this point, except my husband and my mom. But I'm just so excited to be interacting with you guys again. So a couple rules, because since it is my space, I want to make sure that it is a safe space for everyone, and so I will not tolerate any kind of bullying, shaming, meanness, manipulation, any of that shit that none of us got time for. Like, let's just be good people, good human beings, and I'm very much about that. I'm so focused on mental health, primarily just as a huge basis for my life. And I mean, that's why I actually got into knitting and hand dyeing as well, is because I got my degree in psychology and behavioral science. And psychology and mental health is in everything, and it should be a huge factor in everyone's life. Your own personal mental health is so important to how you interact with the world and how the world can change. And so I want to make sure that people going forward on here, I won't tolerate that shit. Let's leave the negativity behind us. Hi. So I'm getting really excited right now because this weekend is the online Yorkshire. It's my throat. My throat is swollen. This weekend is the Yorkshire Yarn Festival, or Yorkshire Yarn Festival. And I live in Utah. So it is really exciting, actually, to see how many different avenues are being opened up, how many different ways of thinking, how many different ways of communicating are opening up right now because of COVID-19. And so I'm just so thrilled to be a part of the Yorkshire. They're going to kick me out because I can't say the damn name. The festival. Yay! I'm so excited because there's a lot of great makers who are going to be featured this weekend, and it is Saturday and Sunday. And I'm very excited because I actually prepared for this show, which is, I generally prepare, but this one I'm uber prepared, and I'm very proud of myself for it right now because I can just get so overwhelmed, so stressed out, and there's a lot of sideways comparisons, especially if you're in a line of work where you just admire all the people around you who are making very similar products. And with hand-dyed yarn, it is very easy to compare and to negatively compare and just have that negative self-talk. I caught my throat. But to have that negative self-talk. And it's very not healthy, and I've been trying to get rid of that kind of mentality for about 2 years now, and I'm finally thinking that I'm getting on track to it, and it can definitely be a struggle, but there's no room for that. Life is already short enough. Why make it even more complicated and more stressful on yourself? So this time I just got so excited, and I have to show you some of the colors that will be available this weekend, starting Saturday. There will be a coupon code. I'd love to tell you it, but apparently I can't say the freaking name, but it's Yorkshire Yarn Fest 10? No, I think it's just Yorkshire Yarn Fest. But I will be posting on Instagram. I am dragon_hoard_yarn on Instagram, and that is pretty much the only place that I go now. I do have my website, dragonhoardyarnco.com, but I am a serious social butterfly on Instagram, so if you want to chat and hang out, that's pretty much where I'm at. So, the first thing that I'm very excited about is actually what I'm knitting on, but it's under a pile of other things I'm really excited about, so I'm going to talk about that first. I am going to finish the sample. I have 2 days, right? I can do it. Show you in a second. But I love doing mystery yarn clubs. That's actually where I get the majority of my color combination ideas for collections going forward. And I've had in my shop, because I'm slightly a bit of a nerd or a geek, whatever you want to call it. I'm not smart, so it's a geek. It's a total geek. I am pretty thin. Negative self-talk out the door. We don't have room for your bullshit. So I'm a geek, and I have so many obsessions with different fandoms that are out in the world right now. One of them is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is a Netflix original, I believe, and they are in technically the second season, but the third part. 1, 2, 3. And I did a yarn club depicting kind of my version of how I see the Weird Sisters, which are, they kind of embody the really messed up parts and dark parts of witches and witchcraft, which I can definitely fall into that category. And I am obsessed. I absolutely love it. So it's Prudence, Agatha, and Dorcas are technically the Weird Sisters. And so I came up with a colorway for each of them. And these are colorways that just are getting delivered now-ish. And so if you do not want to see what they are, I would go away for like 2 minutes. I'm going to give myself 2 minutes because I really don't know how long it's going to take. But just close your screen. You can keep listening and I'll let you know. So the first one that I got really excited about is Prudence, which is a bunch of, can I even explain it? Crap. I don't know how to do this. All right, you guys are going to have to skip like 2 minutes. So it's a lot of mauves and deep purples, and it's almost like a shadow over all of it, which I really, really love. And it has these great pops of orange throughout the skein as well. And I think this is just such a knittable color. That is one thing I really wanted to, this is a better lighting. Sorry, my natural light is coming through my front door right here. And yeah, just those little specks of personality through there. So it's a very dark and moody skein, very dark and moody color, but I can just imagine wearing the crap out of something. And since I'm not knitting a Rhinebeck sweater this year, but I am, but Rhinebeck's canceled, which is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which is really sad, but 2020 has been canceled, right? But I wanted to make a Rhinebeck sweater out of this, so I'm gonna. And I'm gonna wear it on that Saturday and pretend I'm meeting everyone on the hill. And I'm gonna have a little mini fashion show with myself. So this is Prudence, and so if you got the sock set, it came with 2 mini skeins. And I knew I was gonna make them into larger full skeins. And the first one, oh my gosh, no, I need to show you. This is Prudence on mohair. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Okay, so I've designed the Spellman sweater, and if you see my channel, there's actually a video talking all about the Spellman sweater. But what do you think? I mean, I'm so excited. This is, yeah. So, that is Prudence, and Agatha is this one. So it has less of the purple and more of the blues, and it has some really, really interesting like lichen speckles throughout it. And this is my Myth fingering base, by the way. It's my 75-25, all the jazz that's behind me hanging out. But I wanted one that was moody, and it's really hard to kind of get an inspiration behind the Weird Sisters because they all kind of wear the dark colors. But I just remember Agatha basically vomiting up, sorry, so horrible, grave dirt in one of the episodes. And it's like, okay, so let's make her more earthbound. Let's make her a little bit more in the blues and the browns. And it still has like a really good espresso kind of brown in it. So the espresso, which is really great with the dye that I use, it pulls on purple and it pulls on brown. And so when I put it against a blue, this is actually a blue-black. And so because of these contrasts working together, how they are, they're still going to pull an overall kind of shadow purple feel, but it's blue. And so I'm very happy about it. And before I forget, here it is on mohair. Oh my god. And you know what's crazy? This is my least favorite of the Weird Sisters. And I love it. But I'm having a hard time deciding if I like Prudence the best or if I like Dorcas. I mean, I know it's not as spackly, but holy crap. I mean, it's a really stunning kind of tonal, and it does have speckles in it. but it has almost some orange pull throughout it, but it's really, really kind of a wine color, and especially on the mohair. And this is why I love different fibers. I love working with different fibers. And mohair that I have is a lace weight, and you can hold it with different yarns or you can hold it on its own, but it adds such a fun texture and kind of a little bit of elegance and comfort to different garments. And I know some people are allergic to mohair, so I also have a Surrey alpaca, which an alpaca farmer got mad at me because I said I had allergies to it, because I do on occasion, but he did not believe me. But that one's nice too. But I am only dyeing it up on mohair right now because my supplier for the Surrey alpaca is out for like another month, so we'll see how that goes. But I can't get over this. This just reminds me so much of fall. Like, I just want to be hanging out under some yellow-leafed trees and wearing a nice little fedora hat. Not that I could pull those off very well, but who cares? I would love to see a sweater out of this so much. So this one is Dorcas, and I really do love that they kind of still do play together. I think it is such a great palette. I love them. These are my favorite right now. So I dyed a bunch of those up, and they will be available for the first time to order on Saturday at 11:15 Mountain Standard Time. And I'm doing it that way because I am doing my update at that time because at 11:30 I will be on the Yorkshire Yarn Festival, their Instagram account, doing a live on their video account. Sorry, on their Instagram live account. So I'll be on there talking about a bunch of different things, probably a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about right now, but we never know what's going to happen. And I wanted to get that up beforehand because multitasking is not my thing when it comes to that, and I will probably forget. So there's that. And then something very, very exciting happened this week. If you follow me on social media on Instagram, you may have seen that during the beginning of the pandemic, during the beginning in March, that COVID-19 was announced, and that human nature is to get safe, make sure you and your family are safe, and we all panicked. I mean, obviously not everyone, but panic was in the air. It was very rampant, and it was very scary, and my little sister reached out to me and let me know that her friend had just on March 5th found out that her little 2-year-old son had cancer, stage 4. And they got out of the hospital that weekend, and they went to go to the store to get basic things, Clorox wipes, children's Tylenol, because it doesn't have the metals that other pain medications have. And so it won't work with, it's really bad if you're working with like chemo and stuff. It can make your liver go bad really fast. So she was just trying to find basic things for her son, like a face covering, gloves, any kind of disinfectant, really. And she's calling out on Facebook, see if you can do anything, if you know anyone. I'm like, oh, do I know someone? I know a lot of people who love to give back. So because I've done something like this before in the past, I know how overwhelming it can be. And so I reached out to the mom, Maddie, first, and I asked her if she wanted me to call in all the knitters, basically, all the fiber people. And she said yes, but I did warn her. I'm like, okay, just be prepared, because when those floodgates open, like, just be prepared. You are going to be taken care of. We are going to take care of you. And she's like, okay. She was floored. Her whole family was floored. Because the response that we got, I think I had to say we're good after about an hour and a half of people reaching out to me, getting ready to send me some products in their area. We made sure not to add to the hysteria by buying too much from one location or cleaning them out of anything, which is really good. And so those people, I know I said it before, but I really appreciate it. Maddie appreciates it, and Oliver appreciates it, because this week they just found out that the tumor is officially gone. And like just getting, ooh, I'm not crying, it's my throat. Okay, now I'm crying. I was just so excited for him, and because I get to be a part of the Yorkshire Yarn Festival this week, I know that like a lot of shows do like show colorways or charity events, and so because I also have worked in the healthcare field, working with working with the Medicare population and different marginalized communities that maybe needed a little bit more help, we were able to reach out and get like preventative care measures taken care of, like colonoscopies, breast examinations, all that jazz that really helps the medical system. Like it makes it so people end up paying less in the end across the board, because cancer can cost millions and millions of dollars to the healthcare system, and that trickles down. And so we would try to catch that early by getting people into their checkups and getting all that taken care of. But because of that, I do know how much cancer treatments do cost. And so I am so excited to show you our charity colorway. And I just reached out to Maddie again, and she is so excited. And what we're going to do is, I do have a coupon code coming for the Yorkshire Yarn Festival, but it will not be applied to this colorway, just because I want to make sure that she is getting everything that we can possibly give to her. Because Oliver is such a freaking little hero, and he kicked cancer's ass, and I am so proud of him. And she's actually expecting again, so the last thing that she should need to be worrying about right now is more hospital bills, more medical bills. The last thing that Oliver needs to be worrying about is whether or not mom is, dealing with all these issues. He should be excited about what he just accomplished and whatever is coming on the way. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. I don't know if he knows if it's a girl or a boy. I just got way too excited that I saw that tumor's gone. So let me show you the colorway that we will be using for our donations. So, this colorway is called Tiny Hero. And what we are going to be doing is, look at that sparkle, that's my gold Selena. What we're going to be doing is 100% of the yarn sold. So that's the cost of the yarn to me, that's the profits that we make, that's going to be going to Oliver and his family. And then Hoard Yarn, my company for the yarn, we are also going to be matching that amount that is raised, and we're going to be donating it to him and his family as well. And it's so great because they've been working really, really hard to just pay off those medical bills, but again, it is very expensive. And they have a number, and I think we can pay it off for them. I think it's attainable, and I really think we could reach that goal. So this is the colorway Tiny Hero, and it's only going to be available for this weekend during the Yorkshire Yarn Festival. So I have a bunch of stock saved. So if we have to go to pre-orders for a couple of them, we can. I can't clean myself out because I am still running a business, so I do have some yarn put aside for it. So if we need to do pre-orders, we can at some point. But I am so excited, and we have enough put aside to cover those costs for them. So please join me in even just celebrating at home and being super excited for this family that's conquered so much this year in such a short period of time, also dealing with all the other stuff that we're all going through as well. So excited about that. Okay, the last thing that I put together specifically for the Yorkshire Yarn Festival. See, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it. Were kits for the Juniper Crop by Caitlin Hunter, who is just a remarkable designer. Her brain is fascinating because I would not be able to come up with something like this. And I love it because it's so uniquely her, but it very much speaks to a wide range of people. And so I really wanted to get these kits in the shop for this festival because this is my first non-superwash yarn that I've ever carried. It is called the Legend Sport Base, because I don't know if it's going to stay forever or if it's just going to be a legend. No. All my yarn bases are named after like story type, like lore, storyteller, fairy tale. It's just everything that you make is a story. So those are the names for my bases, except for Pegasus because it's soft. And I wanted to show you guys my new yarn for it. So I actually think, oh my god, where is it? I'm missing a yarn. I added the wrong one. Let me put this pretty one back. Wait. No, because I'm making something with this. I'm going to keep this right here. Hold on. So, the main color that I'm using on the body is a brand new color for me, and it's called Divination. Oh, that looks so nasty. Put that yarn barf back in there. There we go. So, it's called Divination, and it's a very, again, like Dorcas. It's a very wine-based kind of burgundy, which I am all about right now. And I really wanted to have some kind of fall palette for this color because I really think that's going to be, I'm going to be wearing that under my overalls or dungarees. I almost cannot figure out that name for the people in the UK, I believe, that call them dungarees. But I think that would be stunning under a pair of overalls. So this wine color, Divination. And what I really like about the non-superwash, but I hate at the same time, is I'm either really good at dyeing it or I'm really bad. I do love the variations of the placement, and that's why I love tonals, because it adds a lot of character to your yarn. But if you're looking for a solid, I'm not ever going to be able to get it in this yarn. I've been trying, but because I know some people prefer that, but I don't think it's going to happen. So these tonals are very tonal, which again, I love. Because yeah, if you're just knitting straight stockinette, it adds so much character into it. I'm thrilled. And this base, I did not think I liked non-superwash because, and I don't think it's just me, I think a lot of people assume that non-superwash means scratchy. This is non-superwash 100% merino. It has such bounce to it that I don't think I've heard people use that term for yarn before, and I'm like, oh yeah, my yarn has bounce. No, I didn't know what bounce was until I tried this yarn. Holy crap. I'm sold. So this is the only new colorway for this base thus far. I'm only going to be dyeing it on tonals because I'm not even going to try that crap. I see how it works with tonals and speckling. Unless it was very light speckling, it would not translate colorways very well, and so I'm just going to keep this to tonals, and also because this non-superwash is so nice for color work, because it doesn't have tooth, but it grabs. It's not like slippery or anything, and so I've been really, really enjoying working with it in this pattern, and so I'm just going to keep it to tonals in my shop. So there's that one, and then we have... Okay. You gotta know it's gonna be good when I say K. So this colorway looks like it's Fireheart because I cannot reach anything. I had some right there. Whatever. So this is Fireheart from my Throne of Glass collection because, again, I'm a geek. And you would think that these were like similar together, but they're not, because non-superwash yarn tends to hold dye a lot less, And so even if you want it to be super, super saturated skin, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen unless you dye it like maybe more than one time, or I'm doing it wrong, which is totally possible. But this is Haru specs, or Haru specs. I don't even know how to say it. But it basically means reading of the entrails. And I mean, this is it in its super washed form. And it might be reading a little bit more orange than it is, because it's more of a burnt red, a burnt... Okay, there it's coming across a lot better. Let me hold it against maybe this. We'll give it a good read. So it's, no, that's not giving a good read. Nope. So if you see it against my hair, it is an orange, but it is also a deep red. And it just reminded me of entrails, like literally. I named it entrails. But I don't think people want to knit with entrails. So in Rome, the reading of the entrails was called Haru specs, and the people who read the Haru specs were Haru spices. Spices. I cannot pronounce crap. And I thought that was a better term than entrails. So I will be relabeling this at some point or another. But I love the vibrance of it in the super washed base. And I was so stunned to see it just come across a lot lighter. I do love it in this, of course. But I was just so surprised to see that kind of difference, because it does look more like Fireheart. But I always think that you need to have some kind of either, for me at least, because I'm a very, very autumn lover. I'm a fall baby, even though I was born in July, but we won't talk about that crap. I always think you need either a yellow, type of yellow. I'm not a bright yellow person, but a type of burnt yellow or a type of red or orange, usually orange, in some kind of any color work that you do. Because I feel like colors that you wouldn't knit an entire sweater out of, which for me would probably be this color, unless it was a cropped cute thing. But if it was a full-on sweater, I probably wouldn't knit a full sweater out of this color for me and my skin tone and my hair color. But I love it so much, and so I want to wear it. So what I can do instead is I can put colors that are more natural by my face, and then I can put the color work down lower and still really, really enjoy the knit and still love that I get to incorporate a color that I wouldn't normally just put right next to my face. So I'm thrilled with it. And by the way, these are in it too. So this is my Obsidian Salt colorway, which is a slightly darker gray. And again, on this base, it's going to pull darker in some spots, lighter in some spots. And I love it. Obsidian Salt is one of my shop's favorites. That's not it. I'm out. That's how favorite it is, which I am so grateful. And I have to skin them up. I'm not out. And then this is Tombstone. So these together, they look like, in this lighting, that they're not really good contrast. But for something like this, which I think was brilliant of Caitlin to do, is you have the main color going through it all. So you literally can use almost any color that you want, even if like all of these colors themselves were just a shade off of each other. You can do the coolest gradient down. You can do it all the same color. Like, it will not matter how your contrasting colors will contrast or not, as long as it contrasts against your main color. So I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And it really opens it up a lot for people who are like me and aren't necessarily the best. It takes a lot of trial and error for me to get color work that actually looks contrasting enough. Like, it's a planned thing. Like, it takes a while for me to figure that out. And then we have Word Marks, which is another colorway from my Throne of Glass collection. You can see it there and there. So you can tell it's a lot lighter on the non-superwash, right? It's because it is. And again, I don't know. I think this makes me look a lot more sallow. And it is because usually my hair is a little bit pinker than it is right now. And so in the color work, though, it's just a great little addition. So I'm so excited, and I'm hoping I'm on the ribbing. And I've only been working on this for a few days. I think I cast on Monday, and it is Thursday. So I think I might be able to finish it because I just have to, I think I have about 1 more inch of ribbing on the bottom, and then I'll be able to start the sleeves. And I have to say, I don't think this will fit me. I was so great and decided not to swatch. And I tried it on the other day, and I'm just like, oh, my breast can't breathe. And I'm like, oh, it's a little short. But then I forgot it is 3 inches of ribbing, and I didn't check, like, this is where I tried on. So I'm like, 5 inches isn't going to cover much, honey. But I think it'll work out. I think it's going to be really cute. And if I stretch the shit out of it, it might actually fit. But I am just really excited to see the colors worked up. And I would knit this again, even in the same colors, actually. And because the contrast colors don't take that much yarn, you could probably use the leftovers of your main color and then use one that you don't use as much, like this contrast color 1 in the gray. You don't use a ton of it. You could probably use that and switch it out and just get 1 more skein for the main color, because I think it takes 2 skeins for the smallest size and then up from there. But I think you can almost reverse it in a lot of the sizes, and so that might be something that I look forward to doing, and either knitting like a size or 2 up, or like, I don't want to swatch. And I know that sounds horrible because I design patterns, but I don't design patterns or I don't swatch patterns until I'm about to send it to my tech editor. I just do a lot of guesstimating, and that is something I'm going to talk about because I did a question on Instagram about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks. I've been planning on doing this for a while. And just asking, you know, what do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? And I think I'm going to do a video here pretty soon just about kind of my design process, because I think a lot of people don't think that they can design, and really, I think pretty much anyone can design. If I'm a remedial math person and I can design, you can design, if that's what you want. And I couldn't wrap my brain around that for a very, very long time. And so I think I missed out on a lot of opportunities over the years. So I'm very happy that I am designing now, and I'm absolutely loving it. And it's Dragon Hoard Designs on Ravelry. In case I did not say that before. Oh, and speaking of designs, wow, I'm really good at those transitions. So, and the yarn. So I really am enjoying this lofty, bouncy knit. And I was actually going to put this in the Juniper, in the Juniper Crop, because I loved how it contrasted so much. But I didn't want it to be overwhelmingly bright on the sweater because I already had a yellow in there and then the more of a russet. So I just added the grays instead. And I'm like, oh, well, I already caked up a skein of this. I probably need to figure out something to do with it. So I'm using this is Starborn, by the way, from the Crescent City collection in the shop. And this is a bag inspired by Crescent City by Lila Styles on Etsy. I have way too many of her bags, and I love them. She is a total geek like me. And this bag is an inspiration of one of my favorite characters, so it all works. But what I decided to do is this inside out. Hold on. Since I already caked up the yarn and I had some Surrey alpaca in my shop, I'm like, I'm just gonna take that out because I am so ready for fall. And I know it just barely became summer, but I really don't care. I have pretty bad asthma, and I cannot be outside if it's too hot because I can't breathe. So during summer, I don't actually get to experience it too much. Spring, I'm usually okay because there's rain and there's storms and it's all good. And then it gets really freaking hot in Utah, and I just can't handle it. So, and my itty bitty little air conditioning doesn't get to my entire studio. So during the summer, I'm actually it can get miserable some days. So I'm always looking forward to fall. And then when winter gets here, it's freezing. I'm not going out there. So I always look forward to fall, and I do like spring quite a bit too. I'm a very transitional seasons kind of girl. And so I really, really want something just nice and squishy on my head. And I don't know if you guys are like me. I love wool, but there are some acrylics out there that are so freaking soft that it just melts your heart. And I did not realize putting these together, like my favorite acrylic out there that's like baby soft, and it's all chain link plied, and I don't know the fancy dancy terms, and I think it has a wool content in it too, but I'm like, it's so soft. But the thing that I don't love about acrylic is it doesn't hold its shape too well, like on ribbing. I'm not a fan of that. With wool, it seems to spring back very well, especially if you're using a twisted cast on, which I do. And so I tried tubular cast on for the very, very first time because Andrea Mowry has a really quick tutorial on it, actually, which was very helpful. I always thought it was going to be terrifyingly hard, but it wasn't. And so I looked at that and I checked it out, and I cast this little sucker on. And I haven't, knit with sport weight before, but at the moment I think I cast on 88 stitches. I think that's pretty good for my head. And I'm hoping to do an all-over cable, just fall, winter beanie. Probably not even a slouchy beanie. I'm not sure just yet, but I just know that I want this fabric that the Surrey alpaca and the sport base are creating just all over my face. I want it on my head. I want it on my face. I could probably, oh my god, that's nice. I could probably make a cowl out of it at some point or another. But I am really enjoying how this yarn is working together, and I haven't done this combo before, so it's always very interesting to see, what you can play with. And anytime I get a new yarn, I try to incorporate it into some kind of pattern. So one, I can sell yarn, obviously. And then two, so I can actually really, really enjoy it and look back and be like, my yarn, my design, my pride, my joy, right there. So I'm very excited about this, and I think I'm just going to be doing very, very dainty all over cable-y things. And I am going to call it Hestia because it kind of reminds me of the goddess Hestia, which was a Greek god. She was in the original pantheon, but she gave up her spot in the original pantheon for Dionysus to come in. And so she's goddess of the hearth, goddess of the home. And so when I think of hearth and home, it's like warm and coziness. And so it's going to be my Hestia hat because it's going to be warm and cozy and just remind you of being home and maybe, doing snowball fights with family. I don't know. Like, it really does make me think of, and I want to size it for kids as well as adults because I can just imagine the fun photo shoots in the winter and just seeing the snow and everything. So it's going to come out way before then, but it just really reminds me of family activities and going inside for hot cocoa and just really, really snuggly things like that. So this is going to be my Hestia hat. So I'm very thrilled about that. And one thing that I'm very surprised with myself right now, I don't knit socks. I don't knit socks. I don't wear knit socks because they hurt my feet. I have princess toes. I don't know what it is. And it is so infuriating because there's so many cute patterns out there. And one pattern designer that I really, really admire for socks is Kay Litton of the Crazy Sock Lady. And she just has so many freaking amazing patterns. I am just... And the thing is, when you knit pattern socks, they tend to stay on your feet a lot better than when you do stockinette socks. And so I have a few per patterns, and I plan on knitting them, but we were going to see because I'm also horrible at knitting socks. I actually have a really, really sad whip over there that I just pulled the needles out, and I'm like, I'm casting on this because Kay is doing the summer sock camp. And it's so fun so far because what she did, it's a Ravelry thing. And you get to sort yourself into like a different camp house. And so there's like a cabin. So there's the DPN cabin, which represent, I'm right there. Magic Loop cabin, which is so horrible. Not really. I am a conscientious objector to Magic Loop because I'm not good at it. And then there is the 9-inch circular cabin, and then there's the random cabin, which could be like the flexi flips or two things at once. I don't know. Not the knit two at a time, but like having like 9-inch Andy feet. I don't know. But she's getting on her Instagram live once a week and checking in with everyone. There's prizes, and it's just a it's a great way to bring people together. Like knit-alongs and community, and I love it. I love the community that she has set up around her spaces, and I really respect her for that. And so with this, I really wanted to get involved as well. And so in my beautiful, beautiful As You Go knitting bag by Beautiful Sister, they are on Instagram, and they have so many amazing products. We have a really cool thing coming up in about a month and a half, 2 months. But I love it because it could just go under this little thing. Look at that. So cute. I love it. I freaking love it. Wow, I got a lot of stuff in here. Let me unpack my life. Ooh. Size Make Yarn. That was from one of my advents I purchased. Let's see. Okay, so. Oh my god, and okay. So I reached out because this yarn is stunning. And it's Nomadic Knits on Instagram and nomadicknits.com, I believe. But Ashley is so talented. And I reached out because I'm like, I suck so bad. I always lose tags. Do you know what this is? And she's like, that was my Rhinebeck colorway for last year. And I'm like, break my heart. The same day Rhinebeck was canceled. I'm like, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. So I wanted to do a kind of fun sock. And so I'm doing my Rhinebeck socks. It's just so depressing, but I'm here for it. I'm excited, and I'm using a heel that I kind of changed a little bit. Honestly, because I did it wrong, but I wrote it down, and it's really, really nice. But I'm not going to release it just because most of it is by Mina Phillip, and she created this beautiful short German short row heel, and I did it in garter, so it's gonna be squishy, and I think that's gonna help my heel not be such a little freaking prissy princess. And I'm about to get to the toes. I think I have about another inch, because I always knit my socks like ½ inch too short, and then I'm miserable. But what I wanted to do is I'm using Getty yarns for the top. I don't know what the colorway is. I'm using the Advent that I got from during the Cast On Collaborative, which was a lot of yarn dyers coming together to make a yarn advent for charity that was put on by my mom, Yarn Cafe Creations. She put it all together. I don't know that she's doing one this year as of yet, but I don't think it's going to happen. But what I usually do is I do a fold over, I do what is it called? Folded brim, I guess. And it's the same brim that I use on my pattern, the Everyday Sachi Beanie. So I just fold it over because I don't think that ribbing really keeps socks up very well, but this does. So that's that yarn. This is Yarn by Me. That was a random mini. And I'm trying to use, this is also a random mini by me. And I don't know how I got it because I really want to make it again. This is the Getty Yarns. But I'm trying to use some colors that go with it, but I want the heels, toes, and cuffs to all be a different color. So I just thought it'd be a little fun, and I don't really go too crazy on colors that often, and it socks. So it'll kind of keep it interesting for me. And this charm is a charm by Simply Serving HK Lindsay. So cute, so talented. I love her markers. I actually have like a couple shipments on the way. I have no self-control. So I'm knitting these with Kay for her knit along, and this is the first sock that I'm working on. And I do use DPNs. I use 2.2. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hold on. Check the needle. 2.25. I was not gonna lie, which is a US size 1. And what I typically use the DPNs. I would love to use the 9-inch circulars, honestly, but my gauge gets so loose in those because I have very tiny ankles. And so I typically cast on 60 stitches, and then I'll decrease after the like by the ankle to 56, and then I'll do stuff later that makes up for it all across. But I think that is all the knitting stuff I have for right now. And I'm not going to say this is going to happen every week, but I really hope so. Because I think Thursdays it would be a lot of fun to just get on and chat with you guys for a bit and hang out and kind of build up a community. Because, I mean, we don't know what the rest of the year is going to look like. I'm very hopeful, and I will always try to be optimistic, but we don't know what it's going to look like. I would love to still be able to go to Knit City, Vancouver this year, which was my plan, and I don't know that's going to happen. I also don't know if I can get a refund for my miles for that, but we will see. They have not announced anything just yet, and so I am optimistically hopeful, or maybe obstinately is more likely. But I'm going to head out now. It is my anniversary tomorrow, so I need to remember not to leave Eric's parents. Oh my God. Think about if I had his parents here, his presence here, because he is building a pirate Viking bar in our basement. And so I went to a local antique shop about 2 weeks ago. They've been opening, we've been in stage 2 for a little while down here, which is businesses opening up more for people to walk in and stuff and social distance, but it's a huge freaking antique shop and I love it. And there is a local artist who makes some really, really amazing just figures, not models or figurines or dolls, it's like statues. And so I got him one of like an octopus on some things. I got a big old skull for him too, because we love skulls and we love dead things. And that sounds horrible, but I don't care. We're fascinated with a lot of things. We're fascinated with a lot of things that aren't necessarily thought of as positive things, I guess. But you'll be able to see that a lot with the themes of my yarn, because my yarn is very typically gothic themed, magic themed. I mean, come on. Entrails. But I need to remember to take all that home so that I can wrap it for him tomorrow. And hopefully, we were hoping to get out to the dinosaur. There's a really cool dinosaur outdoor museum thing, like experience up in Ogden, Utah, which is about 2.5 hours away, 2 hours away from us. And we were planning on going there, and then COVID happened. I'm like, oh, it's not going to happen. And then, like, things started lifting, and I'm like, might happen. And then I signed up for the Yorkshire Yarn Festival, and I'm like, oh, well, no, that's on Saturday. It's like, Tristan, you were going to go to the freaking thing on Saturday. So that's not happening. We're going to go next weekend, but hopefully we can still celebrate a little bit. We're going to go out to dinner because we really want to help our community as much as we can in getting back on their feet and being able to hire servers and kitchen workers again. So we're going to do what we can because we're both good right now, and I already had COVID in February, so we're not worried about me anymore, even though I'm slightly immunocompromised. Like, we're okay. Eric did not get it from me, so that was very, very awesome. That was very positive, and I was out for about a week, but I was able to still go to work after that, which is really good. And yeah, so I'm really excited for this weekend. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm actually really excited to do the Yorkshire Yarn Festival, though, because I wouldn't have any opportunities to do that this year, or maybe even next year, to travel internationally and work with some of these amazing artists. I think we have 26 artists doing it this weekend, and I hadn't been following like half of them, so I'm thrilled to be able to meet new people, make new friends, and see new products that I wasn't exposed to before. And I really hope you guys can get on to the Yorkshire Yarn Festival Instagram Live. I think I'm the last one. And so if you're looking at British Standard Time, I'm going on at 6:30. 6:30. And if you're in the States, it's 11:30 Mountain Standard Time AM. So I'll be there. I'm only there for 15 minutes. And we'll just be chit-chatting, hanging out, and I'm going to be showing, I'm actually working on my setup right now, and it's looking fairly legit, but it's going to be covering so you guys can't see my really, really messy dye area because it is bad right now, and it is covered in color. So trying to get it so it looks a little pretty for y'all. And I'm going to head out to make some tea for my throat because I couldn't help but sing a ton yesterday. And hopefully I'll see you guys on here again soon. Bye!